Lust is not just a fleeting temptation. It is a force, an ancient weapon wielded by unseen powers to control your very soul. For centuries, demons have used it to infiltrate your mind, your relationships, and your destiny. You've felt it, haven't you? That gnawing pull, the momentary satisfaction followed by a deep emptiness. What if I told you that every time you gave in, you were surrendering a little more of yourself to a force you can't see, but always feel? Lust isn't just a personal battle, it's spiritual warfare. And the stakes, they are your freedom, your purpose, and ultimately, your soul. Imagine being caught in a web so intricate, you can't see the threads pulling you in all directions. The more you indulge, the more tangled you become. But here's the truth, you can break free. You were never meant to be controlled. This is not just about resisting temptation. It's about reclaiming the power that was always yours. The question is, will you keep surrendering to the darkness, or will you stand up, break the chains, and step into your true authority? Let's uncover the 5 ways demons use lust to control your life, and how you can fight back. 1. The deceptive pull of lust, the unseen battle for your soul, but beneath its surface lies a dark force, ancient and relentless, waiting for the moment to strike. It promises satisfaction, a quick release from the burdens of life. But what it delivers is far more dangerous, the slow, insidious erosion of your soul. The deceptive pull of lust is not a simple act of indulgence, it is a spiritual battle. It draws you in with its illusion of pleasure, offering temporary fulfillment. But as soon as you give in, you realize that the satisfaction is short-lived, and the emptiness that follows is far more profound than the fleeting moment of gratification. The truth is, lust is never satisfied. It always demands more, always pushes you further, until it has you in its grip, pulling you deeper into a cycle of shame and desperation. Demons know this. They understand the human psyche, the way desires can be twisted and manipulated. Lust is a tool they use to subtly lure you away from your true path, to obscure your purpose, and to cloud your judgment. It doesn't strike all at once. Instead, it entices you with something that feels harmless, a fleeting thought, a glance, an idea. But gradually it becomes something much more powerful. Like a slow poison, it works its way into your mind, distorting your sense of self and your connection to others. The unseen battle for your soul is fought in these moments of weakness. Lust doesn't need to be a grand event. It thrives in the small, unnoticed spaces, the private thoughts, the secret cravings. Demons don't come at you with horns and fire. They come in the form of desire, seductive, alluring, almost natural. And in those moments when you feel your desires overtaking you, when your emotions take control, that's when you are most vulnerable. That's when the battle for your soul is raging. The subtlety of lust is what makes it so dangerous. Unlike a direct attack, lust works by stealth, distorting your values and beliefs. One small step at a time, you begin to crave things that were once foreign to you, things that pull you away from your higher purpose. Each indulgence leads to the next, each step furthering the disconnection between you and the truth of who you really are. The longer you entertain these desires, the harder it becomes to break free, as they become woven into the fabric of your identity. But here's the truth. Lust does not define you. It does not own you unless you allow it. The deceptive pull of lust is not an inevitable fate. It is a battle, a choice. You may feel overwhelmed at times, as if there is no way out, but you are never without power. Every moment you resist, every time you reclaim control, you weaken the hold it has on your life. Lust seeks to keep you distracted, to keep you in a constant state of longing and dissatisfaction. It is a tool of manipulation, designed to make you feel incomplete, to make you feel like you need something outside of yourself to be whole. But in reality, the only thing you need is to reconnect with your true self, the part of you that was never meant to be ruled by fleeting desire. The battle for your soul is real, but the power to overcome it lies within you. 2. The seduction of comfort. How lust lures you into spiritual complacency. Lust is a cunning seductress, not always seen as the overtly dangerous force it truly is. Instead, it often comes to you dressed in the guise of comfort, ease and pleasure. It lures you into a false sense of security, convincing you that indulging in your desires will bring you peace, happiness or fulfillment. But in reality, it is a trap designed to make you complacent, to distract you from your true spiritual purpose. The seductive nature of lust begins by appealing to your deepest desires for comfort. In a world full of pressures and struggles, the desire for ease is natural. Lust presents itself as an escape, a quick fix, a temporary release, a way to soothe the discomfort of life's challenges. It convinces you that these fleeting pleasures will bring lasting relief. But the moment you indulge, you begin to trade your deeper, more profound needs for hollow satisfaction. In the beginning it feels harmless, a momentary indulgence, a brief escape, just to take the edge off. It seems innocent enough, right? But what happens next is the insidious part. Once you let lust in, it subtly begins to take control. It replaces the drive for meaningful growth with the craving for fleeting comforts. You become spiritually stagnant. The fire of ambition, of purpose, and of striving for something greater slowly fades. You've traded the discomfort of growth for the easy satisfaction of instant pleasure. Comfort breeds complacency. The more you give in to lust, the more you allow it to shape your choices. You stop challenging yourself, stop pushing for change. The constant pursuit of gratification keeps you anchored in the present moment, pulling you away from any higher calling. The voice within that once urged you to grow, to rise above, gets quieter and quieter until it's drowned out by the constant noise of desire. Spiritual complacency sets in when you no longer feel the urgency to strive for anything beyond your immediate desire. Lust keeps you focused on the shallow, the temporary, and the empty. It convinces you that comfort is the ultimate goal, that if you just keep indulging, you'll find peace. But peace can never be found in indulgence. True peace is the result of inner growth, overcoming challenges, and aligning with a higher purpose. Lust, however, keeps you stuck in a cycle, trapping you in a state of comfort that prevents any meaningful transformation. Consider how this cycle has played out throughout history. Great leaders, thinkers, and warriors were often brought low not by grand battles, but by the quiet, insidious pull of complacency. They allowed themselves to be seduced by the comforts of the flesh, letting desires erode their focus and spiritual discipline. What followed was always the same, a slow decline as they traded greatness for mediocrity, purpose for pleasure. Lust in its quiet seduction makes you believe you're just taking the easy road, that there's no harm in a little indulgence. But it's a dangerous lie. The comfort you seek in lust only serves to imprison you, holding you back from becoming who you were truly meant to be. The more you fall for it, the further you drift from your spiritual truth. Breaking free from this comfort requires a deep understanding that true fulfillment never comes from indulgence, but from living a life of discipline, purpose, and growth. The path of self-mastery and spiritual awakening will often be uncomfortable, but it is in that discomfort that true transformation happens. You must choose: will you remain in the comfort of complacency, or will you rise to the challenge, rejecting the seductive pull of lust and walking toward your higher calling? Lust has a sinister way of eroding the very foundation of your self-control. It begins with a simple thought, a fleeting desire, and before you know it, your boundaries, once solid, begin to dissolve. Self-control is not just about resisting temptation. It's about maintaining the integrity of your mind, body, and spirit. When lust takes hold, it creeps into your thoughts, softens your resolve, and diminishes the strength you once had to say no. The first line of defense is your boundaries, the emotional, mental, and spiritual limits you've set to protect your sense of self and purpose. These boundaries are what keep you anchored, preventing destructive impulses from guiding your action. But when lust enters the picture, it attacks those very boundaries with precision. It whispers that one more glance won't hurt, that one more indulgence will be fine, and before long, those small cracks turn into full-fledged breaches. Self-control starts to crumble. When lust becomes more than just a desire, it turns into a compulsion. The mind becomes consumed with the need for immediate gratification. It overrides logic and reason, pushing you to satisfy your urges without considering the consequence. What once seemed like a small, harmless indulgence soon becomes a habitual pattern that feels impossible to break. Lust manipulates your perceptions, making you believe you're in control, when in reality it's the desire that has taken the reins. This loss of self-control extends far beyond the physical realm. It infiltrates your emotional well-being, leaving you vulnerable to feelings of shame, guilt, and regret. Every time you give in, your sense of worth is diminished. You begin to view yourself not as someone with power and dignity, but as a person controlled by a fleeting desire. This emotional toll further weakens your ability to resist. The more you indulge, the more your sense of self dissolves. Your boundaries, once defined by clarity and conviction, now seem like distant memories. The spiritual consequences of this erosion are even more profound. Lust doesn't just break physical or emotional boundaries. It breaches your connection with a higher purpose, your spiritual center. Each time you yield, You create a distance between you and the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life. The soul becomes clouded, and the clarity you once had in your decisions and relationships fades. Lust doesn't simply satisfy a physical craving. It takes something far more valuable: your peace of mind, your connection to your higher self, and your ability to act with purpose. What's even more dangerous is how quickly this loss of self-control becomes cyclical. Each time you break a boundary, it becomes easier to break it again. The resistance you once had fades, and the patterns become harder to break. The battle over self-control isn't just about willpower. It's about reclaiming the strength that lust seeks to strip away. To regain your boundaries, you must understand that self-control is an active, ongoing practice, not a one-time act of defiance. Reclaiming self-control requires vigilance. It's about establishing clear boundaries and protecting them. It's about understanding the value of delayed gratification and the strength that comes from resisting the immediate pull of desire. When you strengthen your boundaries, you reclaim your autonomy, your peace, and your power. Lust can only control you if you allow it. The moment you decide to take back control is the moment you begin to rebuild your boundaries and step into the power that was always yours. My ebook 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust Before It Destroys You is packed with practical faith-driven strategies to help you overcome temptation and reclaim your true purpose. This guide will equip you with biblical wisdom to fight back and emerge victorious. Don't wait. Take action now and start your journey to freedom. Grab your copy today by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment. Your transformation starts now. Or the disconnect. Lust is the antagonist to true connection. The lust is a powerful force, but its true strength lies not just in the immediate gratification it provides. It thrives in its ability to sever deep, meaningful connections. It promises intimacy but delivers isolation. It masquerades as affection but breeds emptiness. The lies lust whispers are subtle, convincing you that the fleeting thrill is enough, convincing you that it's the ultimate form of closeness. Yet it's the perfect antagonist to real lasting connection. When we indulge in lust, we are seeking something that feels like affection, companionship, or love. Yet every time we give in, we're actually building walls between ourselves and what truly matters. Lust doesn't allow you to open up fully. It isolates you. Rather than connecting on a deeper soul level, lust confines you to a shallow interaction, a brief encounter that leaves you more empty than fulfilled. It tricks you into believing that momentary pleasure is the pinnacle of human connection, while it dulls the profound experience of genuine intimacy. Consider the effect lust has on relationships. In romantic partnerships, it distorts love. Lust places conditions on closeness. It thrives in objectifying people, reducing them to mere instruments of desire. You stop seeing the person in front of you as an individual, as a fellow human with hopes, fears, dreams, and struggle. Instead, you see them as a means to satisfy an insatiable hunger. In doing so, you erode the very essence of the connection: trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Lustful encounters never leave room for the vulnerability that real intimacy requires. Without vulnerability, you cannot experience true emotional connection. In the realm of friendship, lust also plays its disruptive role. It turns healthy, platonic bonds into potential breeding grounds for jealousy, confusion, and distrust. Imagine a friendship that once felt pure, but over time, sexual attraction fueled by lust begins to overshadow it. What was once a shared experience of laughter and support now carries an undercurrent of unspoken desire, causing rifts that were never meant to exist. You find yourself distancing from those you once trusted, unable to differentiate between genuine affection and the confusing tangle of lust that invades your mind. Lust creates a false sense of intimacy. It's a counterfeit, designed to keep you hooked, but it never fulfills your deeper, more profound need for connection. Instead of cultivating a bond rooted in respect and emotional understanding, lust reduces relationships to transactional exchanges. Your desire may be momentarily sated, but the spiritual emptiness left behind is undeniable. You're left feeling alone, as if the very thing you craved, real connection, was just out of reach, slipping through your fingers like sand. The real danger of lust isn't just the immediate consequences. It's how it erodes the foundation of all human connection. Lust distances you from your true self. It distracts you from the greater purpose of love, which is unconditional, pure, and nourished. It leaves you empty, constantly searching for something you'll never truly find in shallow desires. True connection, whether romantic, platonic, or spiritual, requires openness, vulnerability, and the willingness to see and be seen. Lust destroys that possibility. It creates a barrier, a wall that keeps you from experiencing the fullness of what it means to connect with others and with yourself. To break free from lust's grip is to reclaim the ability to form authentic, life-giving relationships. Only when you let go of the counterfeit and embrace true intimacy can you begin to experience the deep, meaningful connections that are your birthright. 5. The path to liberation. Breaking free from lust's chains is not just about resisting fleeting urges. It's about reclaiming control over your life, soul, and destiny. Lust is a powerful force, one that manipulates not only your actions but your very identity, but the truth is you were never meant to be enslaved by it. The path to liberation begins the moment you recognize the battle for what it truly is, a spiritual war for your freedom. The first step in breaking free is to understand that lust is not just a physical craving, it's a spiritual chain that holds you captive. It's the demon's way of stealing your peace, your self-control, and your clarity. Every time you give in, you surrender a piece of your power. Lust promises pleasure, but it delivers emptiness. It distracts you from your true purpose and leaves you spiritually bankrupt. Once you see this, the battle shifts from just saying no to understanding the spiritual implications of your choices. The second step is to build your spiritual armor. Just as a soldier prepares for battle, you must prepare your mind and spirit. Start by filling your heart with what is pure and righteous. Nourish your mind with the wisdom of ancient truths, and renew your inner strength through daily practices of meditation, prayer, or reflection. Strength lies in the consistent commitment to your values, not in the occasional bursts of willpower. But preparation is not enough. Action is required. You must take bold steps to remove yourself from the situations and environments that fuel lust's grip on your life. This might mean cutting off toxic relationships, distancing yourself from media that triggers temptation, or setting strict boundaries in areas where you're most vulnerable. Remember, this isn't about weakness. It's about strategic self-preservation. The battle you're fighting is not just for momentary pleasure, but for your soul's eternal well-being. Another critical aspect of breaking free is confronting the root of lust. Often it is tied to deeper wounds, feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, or insecurity. These unaddressed emotional scars fuel your need for temporary satisfaction. Addressing these wounds head-on is key to liberation. Healing comes when you stop seeking validation from outside sources and begin to find your worth from within. This is where true freedom begins, recognizing that your value is not dependent on the fleeting pleasures that lust offers, but on the unshakable truth of your own intrinsic worth. And don't underestimate the power of community. No one breaks free from chains alone. Seek guidance from those who have walked this path before you, whether that be through mentorship, spiritual counsel, or support group. Accountability and shared wisdom strengthen your resolve, offering not just guidance but a reminder that you are not alone in this struggle. Lastly, liberation is a process, not a one-time event. You may stumble along the way, but that doesn't mean you've failed. The key is to keep moving forward, learning, growing, and deepening your connection to your higher purpose. Liberation from lust doesn't happen overnight, but with every step you take, the chains grow weaker, and the power you gain over your life becomes undeniable. In the end, breaking free from lust is about reclaiming your sovereignty. It's about standing firm in your own power and refusing to be defined by something so hollow. Your true power lies not in your ability to indulge, but in your strength to choose freedom, purpose, and the life you were always meant to lead. The battle against lust is not merely about resisting temptation. It's a journey of reclaiming your authority, your power over the forces that seek to control you. Lust, like all destructive forces, thrives when left unchecked. But the final awakening begins when you recognize that the true battle isn't just external, it's internal. It's the war for your soul, your mind, and your very purpose. The moment you awaken to your own power, you realize that no external force can dictate your choices unless you allow it. To reclaim your authority over lust, you must first understand that it feeds on your weakness, your unchecked desires and momentary pleasures. The enemy thrives in the shadows of your mind where shame, guilt, and secrecy grow. Lust is the thief that steals your peace, your relationships, and your potential. But the more aware you become of its hold on you, the less power it has. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming control. You've been told that lust is something beyond your control, something inevitable in today's world. But that is the lie. Lust does not control you unless you surrender to it. This realization is key. Your desires do not define you. You are not a prisoner to your urges. When you stop identifying with your cravings and start understanding them as external forces trying to infiltrate your peace, you take back the power. It is in this awareness that you find strength. Next, you must establish boundaries, clear, unapologetic boundaries. Lust thrives when there are no lines to draw, no limits. It begins with small compromises and grows into something bigger. The more you allow your boundaries to be blurred, the more vulnerable you become. But the moment you set firm limits, you stop feeding the beast. These boundaries might involve distancing yourself from toxic influences, eliminating certain triggers, or simply saying no to the thoughts that lead to temptation. It's about creating a space where you can breathe freely and resist the pull of destruction. In the final awakening, there is also a shift in how you view pleasure itself. Lust promises quick satisfaction that leaves you hollow, hungry for more. True fulfillment, however, comes from a deeper connection with yourself, with others, and with your purpose. Lust distracts you from this truth, telling you that fleeting pleasure is all there is. The awakening happens when you embrace the deeper, more profound pleasures that come from living with intention, discipline, and self-respect. When you find satisfaction in purpose, your desires lose their power to control you. Finally, to truly reclaim your authority, you must tap into something greater than yourself. This is not a battle you fight alone. Faith, meditation, or whatever spiritual practice gives you strength, connects you to a power that far exceeds anything lust can offer. It's through this connection that you draw your true strength. And when you stand firmly grounded in your faith, you become impervious to the seductive whispers of temptation. The final awakening is the realization that you are not weak. You are not a victim of your desire. You are a warrior, and your strength lies in your ability to choose freedom over chains. When you step into your true power, lust can no longer control your life. You are the master of your mind, your choices, and your destiny. Reclaim your authority. The battle is already won. The fight against lust is not just about overcoming fleeting moments of temptation. It's about taking back your life, your purpose, and your future. Every time you give in, you lose a little more of who you truly are. But every time you stand firm, you reclaim a piece of your soul, a piece of your destiny. The world will continue to bombard you with distractions and false promises of pleasure, but it is up to you to decide which path you will walk. You are not weak. You are not defined by the urges you battle. You are stronger than you realize. The moment you recognize that lust is just a tool used by forces that seek to control your mind and your destiny. The moment you see it for what it truly is, you gain the power to break free, and it starts with one decision: to fight. But here's the truth. You don't have to fight this battle alone. I've compiled the most powerful and practical biblical strategies to help you destroy lust before it destroys you. 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust Before It Destroys You is a guide that will equip you with the wisdom and spiritual armor needed to overcome this powerful force. It's more than just a book. It's a blueprint for reclaiming your life from the shadows of temptation. If you're ready to step into your true authority, to end the cycle of addiction, and to break free from the chains that have held you captive for far too long, this is your next step. The solutions you've been searching for are within reach. Click the link in the description below to grab your copy of my ebook and take the first step toward true freedom. It's time to break the chains of lust and rise into your full potential. This is your moment. Don't let it slip away.